Alrighty, guys. Episode 10 or 11 or 9 or whatever it is.
Are we double
Third Down
counting?
Podcast.
We gotta do something big for the third down podcast, or for the tenth
For,
third down
yeah,
podcast.
10th
Episode
anniversary.
10.
10th anniversary.
Made it 10,
Check
guys.
the mic a little bit.
Yeah, our one a month podcast. We're so far. I know it's only week 2, but we're doing pretty good. We're
Yeah,
doing weekly episodes so far.
there we are.
So yeah, it's been a weird first 2 weeks of football, eh, guys?
Yeah, before we start, Isaac,
Yeah.
pull your mic a little bit away. That's perfect. A little bit forward. That's perfect. Anyway, yeah, that has been a weird 2 weeks of football. I think the MVP running right now is Baker Mayfield and Derek Carr.
Dude, I think the MVP is Alvin Kamara.
Maybe
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think Derek Carr really.
He destroyed me in fantasy this week. 40 points on
Same.
my head.
Same.
Of course. Why do I have to play him in our big money league there, Jeff? Like, of course, man.
That's
Lost
how
by
it works.
10.
That's fantasy.
And then
I
I
think the
didn't.
most frustrating part of that game was that like I have Chris Olave, and the amount of times he got stopped like short of the goal.
Oh,
I was
dude,
just like, are you kidding me?
because I have him in a league too, and I'm like, seriously, man,
Yeah,
because I don't know what it is. Like, him and Derek Carr have beef. I don't know what.
oh,
For sure.
Like,
He's
for
fucking
sure.
Derek Carr's wife or something.
It's crazy, dude.
He
It's nuts.
he definitely did something.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually had a crazy fantasy game in one of my leagues. It went down to Monday night's game. He had Philly's defense, and I basically was down by like 2 points or 1 point, and Kirk Cousins, the man that he is, drove down the field, game-winning touchdown, and that brought the points down to
What a
by 2
flop.
points.
What a flop. What a flop that was by the Eagles, man.
Oh
Crazy.
yeah, well, I mean Saquon too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll get into it for sure, but is that
That's
coaching?
a coaching issue there, man.
But I mean,
Think so.
Saquon catches that football, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're down. That's the game's over.
So let's just jump right into it. We are going to start out with the Bills and the Dolphins. It wasn't even close ever. Like this is. I was unfortunate circumstances with Tua, obviously,
Yeah.
prayers, but
Yeah.
I mean, pre and post injury, it was just dominant from the Bills.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
how do you feel about just watching your Bills con?
I was happy. I mean, Tua made it really easy for the Bills defense to look that good.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, other than Waddle and this is my opinion, other than Waddle and Hill, they really don't have receiver depth.
they haven't even been doing anything. They've literally just been abusing a chain. That's been their offense or
Yeah.
a chain.
And he had a crazy game. I mean, he's a great running back, but yeah, the
Tyreek
Bills
Hill had
defense-
4 receptions.
Yeah, I mean,
Sewell Douglas apparently is one of the best corners in the league this year so far.
well, I don't even know if Rasul was following him. I think.
Well, he held Martin Harrison to 4 yards. I'll tell you that for free.
Yeah, no, I guess and look at him this week, right? So I mean,
Yeah. I gotta give the Bills some credit though. Like they played like what I think like cover 2 all game, and obviously the Dolphins suck at that offensively. So
yeah, no, exactly. I personally think just Miami just got outcoached. Miami
Yeah.
got outplayed.
for sure.
It was just.
I think
two
the Bills
different
have an
teams.
underrated O line as well. Like I don't think it's like they're considered like a top O line on paper, but like their run blocking is like pretty good. They're a
So
run heavy team.
I wouldn't say like underrated. I would just say we lost so many. Like we lost an offensive weapon, right? We lost a couple guys on the O line. We lost the deep. There's been so much focus at different spots where, as last year at the end of the season, we were running the ball very well with James Cook under Joe Brady, and then so many things happened. We just kind of forgot that was an actual thing that happened. That
It's pretty crazy how overlooked like a top caliber season from James Cook is. Like it, I feel like a lot of people wrote the Bills off like for like how Khan just said. Like there's obviously so much movement and stuff, but man, on paper, like James Cook is like such a lock to have like a great season this year.
exactly.
Yeah. I can see him probably being like rushing leader of the year, like be of the year kind of concept.
It definitely could happen, or he's just a big part of the offense. I mean,
This was one of the most boring games of the week, though. Like it was boring as hell to
Well,
Yeah,
watch.
it was over by halftime.
After at the end of the first quarter, like it was.
Mike McDaniel is, in my opinion, one of the most overrated coaches in the league. Like just because he makes corny jokes every single press conference, like doesn't make him a good coach. Like yeah, he's
Dead.
like
Yeah.
I know he gets praised by like Tyreek and he's put a lot of
Players
trust and
coach.
faith in Tua. Yeah, like that's exactly it. Players coach. Like that's a perfect way to put it. But like
Mm.
winning big games and like constructing like solid, consistent, good football program, like I just don't see it. I don't believe in him.
But when was the last time they won in the playoffs? The Miami.
Have they?
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Like
I was
they've
gonna
won a
say, I
wild
don't think
card, but they
did they though? Did they win a
I don't
wild
even
card?
know if they've won a wild card.
And
I
Reese
don't
is a good
think so.
question, though. I think he's 0-4 in the playoffs.
Yeah,
And oh no, Skylar Thompson won the wild card
yeah,
game.
exactly.
Oh.
Is it the coaching or is it like nothing against Tua, but like I feel like it might be like Tua might be the problem with it because like he seems to always choke in
Well,
these
and he
big
and,
games.
and and he can't stay healthy, man. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like I terrible injury, but slide.
What are you doing?
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
okay. This isn't
Yeah.
this probably like isn't appropriate, but like, man, you got leveled by DeMar Hamlin.
Tall
Yeah.
people
Bro,
too.
But I mean, at the same time, it's just. And don't get me wrong, it's like.
better not be
praise
gassing
to,
up DeMar Hamlin here.
No.
I better
I'm
not
saying-
hear. I better not hear
No,
DeMar
it has
Hamlin
nothing to-
plays.
It has nothing to do with DeMar Hamlin. It has everything to do with Tua, and I'm just saying, like,
But you're right, though.
unfortunately, his past and he's had some injuries. But like at the same time, you got to be smart. Like you're not going to truck anybody. Your average rushing is 4 yards a game. You're not going through anybody.
He lost weight. Like he lost like
Yeah.
25 pounds in the offseason. So like,
And I also get it from the sense that like they're losing the game pretty bad. He probably wanted to spark up his team and do something that he usually doesn't do. But I mean, just terrible outcome. I just feel so bad for the guy, and
Yeah,
we'll see what
it's
happens
rough.
moving forward with him.
sounds like he wants to come back and play. He wants an outsider's neurological opinion. So
Yeah. They put
hopefully,
him on IR though for that though, so
yeah,
he's not coming
hopefully he
back for at
comes
least
back.
5 weeks.
For 5 weeks, yeah.
Hopefully he comes back this season. If not, hopefully he comes back sometime. I do. He
I
does.
don't know.
He does. He does fit that offense, but I feel like any quarterback would fit that offense. Like
I'm just saying,
you throw
I
Bryce
think
Young in that offense, I feel like he does decent.
He's not for sale. He's not for sale. Get out of here.
I think he's overrated. Tua. Like I just think like he has weapons around him. I don't think he's a $55 million quarterback.
He's overpaid, like
Oh, he's definitely-
absolutely,
Yeah,
1,000%. That actually makes the Trevor Lawrence contract not look as bad because at least Trevor Lawrence is on the field. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like
guess.
Tua's never on the field, and then when he is, he only plays well in half the games when it's not cold.
Mhm.
Anyways, boring game. I think we can move on. Bills, they look great. They're in my top 5 for
Yeah,
our
okay.
power rankings. So,
Boy,
Do
like
that at the end of this.
oh, little spoiler, but they're probably in all of ours. I know that for a
That's
fact they're
fair.
in Connors, and if they're
That's fair.
1 or 2, you just got to get out of here.
Okay, spoiler alert, they're 4 for me.
I think I have them. I have them 4
Oh.
as well. I wonder how close we are.
Do I have them 4?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't have them
no,
there,
We'll get
but-
there. We'll get there after.
we'll get there after.
We'll
Anyway,
get
next
there.
game. Let's go next game.
So the next game, 49ers and Vikings. I literally said this. I said, what if Sam Darnold comes out and beats the 49ers? Like,
yeah, but you say that about every upset, so it's
Yeah.
hard to believe you.
Plus, like,
it's documented.
Was this Sam Darnold winning, or was this more the defense for the Vikings winning? Like, I feel like the defense is what kind of held it together.
Or was it the 49ers losing?
Yeah, exactly, right? Like,
You know what I mean? There's like
Sam Darnold did play a very clean game of football other than Fred Warner being Fred Warner. Fred Warner made like an unbelievable interception, and without that,
Yeah, that's
Sam
fair.
Darnold had an unbelievable game. Like,
But Fred Warner, that was that
yeah, that was a
interception
dirty.
was like that was like
looked
something
like straight out of Madden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That was a user lurk. Like
Fred
left
Warner's
both
insane in
feet.
Madden too. Like that guy,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
he always got lurk artist every time,
Yeah.
every single year.
Like doesn't matter who's throwing that football. That's a pick.
Oh, yeah,
that's
for
like-
sure.
That's like it doesn't matter if it's Mahomes with a sidearm. Like doesn't matter the ball speed. That was a user lurk. That's just a beautiful play. But yeah, I mean, I don't.
Excited
know
for
how
this
San
team
Francisco-
when they get Hawkinson back. Like because they're missing one of their good weapons.
I mean,
Been playing pretty well without him though. Like that Naylor guy's been actually killing it with like back-to-back games of touchdowns. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's you know what? Our predictions for the Vikings aren't looking too hot so far, but you know it's week 2, so yeah, good win for the Vikings. I love to see an underdog story, and you know what? I like as bad as Sam Darnold has been over the years. I'm rooting for the guy. Like you'll have a good underdog story. You know what I mean? Like you know,
I feel like he's a comeback player this year.
yeah, he's like as of right now, like if he keeps this up, comeback player of the year candidate, absolutely 1,000%.
definitely over A-Rod right now.
Although
Garrett hasn't done anything. He'll just win it just based off his name.
Yeah, exactly.
the next game was another game that was, I mean, went to OT, but there was just not much action in it. Seahawks and Patriots.
Yeah.
JSN
Felt like this
emerged
one was
though,
snooze
which is nice. Finally.
Finally,
Yeah,
finally.
I was definitely expecting him to emerge at some point. He's a very talented receiver on a sub-talented offense, so obviously he's gonna break out there.
Looked
As-
in this game, it looked like they finally had Tyler, or what's his name, Tyler Lockett as the wide receiver 3. Finally,
It
which
looked
is
like it. I know.
justified.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
it should have been done like last season.
Last year.
It looked like how the offense should run now. Also, moving onto the other side of the ball with the Pats, I think Hunter Henry might be their number one.
He's their focal
Their
point of the
number
This
one.
is
offense.
their offense.
He
which is
looked
insane.
good. He
did.
looked good.
He did.
Yeah. He was a good. It was. I don't know. I think the Pats might surprise some people this year. I don't think they're gonna make a run of some sort, but they might hit their over on on wins. That's for sure.
You know what? This is it's promising for Drake May to have a good start to his career. Like if because obviously Brissett's a bridge quarterback. Like he's not there long term. So like if this team can kind of flourish and bloom before Drake May kind of gets that starting job, like that only helps a quarterback. You know what I mean? Like we've seen it time and time again. Look at Bo Nix. Look at Bryce Young. They throw these young guys right out of college. Even Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels. Like none of them are excellent. You know, I think C.J. Stroud was an anomaly last year, and even
Also
he.
had a decent like. His team was like it wasn't as bad as we thought though. Like he had
C.J.
a lot of
Stroud was
weapons.
pretty bad the first four games last
Yeah.
year. Like he was pretty
Well,
bad.
Compared to his finish, yeah.
So he started off a little slow. So not every quarterback's built like that, you know, and not every team is built for a young quarterback to flourish, right? So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I always wonder, like, what if Patrick Mahomes? What if they just threw him in the offense first year? Like, would he be the Patrick Mahomes today? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows if he didn't have
Those,
that
I
year.
don't think so, but would have been more of adjustment.
Did you guys watch much of this game? Because I had Red Zone on, and I feel like I barely ever saw this game because there were so many games on at 1 o'clock.
There's
I
10.
feel like
Why
this
was
one
it
was
like
barely.
They're gone.
There's like 10 games on this time. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was
It's
crazy.
the
I
most
couldn't
of the
keep up.
year, yeah.
I looked at the
I watched-
highlights, and it just looked like
I
a lot
watched
of
the fourth quarter.
running.
I watched the fourth quarter in overtime, so like I kind of saw that, and like when I was watching that, like Geno Smith was like hyper targeting JSN, which was like, oh, finally, this is nice. So I'm glad that actually happened.
It looked like that because I watched the replays of every game, and it looked like because DK has never been known for his route running. He's always been like he's always been like a deep threat field stretcher, like throw it up and he'll catch it type guy.
Big body kind of dude.
And JSN has the route running. He's got the finesse. You know what I mean? Like he's a talented receiver. So it's nice to see them finally use him in the offense, right? So
Exactly.
Yeah, and Tyler Lockett reached young status now, so he's getting old.
yeah, maybe he'll
Maybe,
finally maybe he's finally sensing he's losing his job. Maybe he'll start fighting for yards instead of doing a barrel roll every time he catches the ball.
No, I think he's excited.
He's like, yes, I don't have to get tackled anymore.
He's
Yeah.
happy with his 3 to 4 targets a game.
He
You know,
is,
he
yeah.
can do what he needs to do. He doesn't have to be the guy.
He's like, I'm good with this role.
It's kind of sad though, man, because Tyler Lockett was like when I was really into football, like I remember Tyler Lockett getting drafted. Like it's just kind of making me feel a little bit old, like because he's like he's just getting old, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, for sure.
so, yeah.
Oh, enough of that boring game.
Next game is not much more excitement. The Giants and the Commanders. My
Okay, I
God,
don't know about you. I thought it was exciting. 7 field goals to win
The
the
kicking
game.
fest.
Are you kidding me?
I'm sorry. That's just so boring. Like if I paid money to go watch this game, I'd be like, if I was a
You're
Washington
shocking me.
fan, I would be like, what is this? Like, yeah, we got
They
the
won.
win.
They
But
won
like
though, so
Jaden Daniels has still not proven that he hasn't even attempted to throw deep. It's
Well,
crazy.
no quarterback really. Like so far, the quarterback class hasn't been performing very well.
Like I remember C.J. Stroud was what I know we just talked about it. He was slow, but he was slinging it to Tank Dell like week
He was
4,
trying to at
like
least, yeah.
yeah, and even week 1, week 2, week 3, there was interception. He was slinging it. So
I mean,
it's like, and he showed in college that he can sling the ball. Same with Caleb Williams. They have like both tremendous arms. So
and on the bright side too, for well, the only bright side for the Giants is Malik Neighbors got going.
and yeah,
he had a
he
game.
emerged, man. He emerged. It was good to see. He's a talented receiver, man.
Yeah,
You can see like Daniel Jones definitely got talked to about making sure Neighbors got his touches because like the amount of targets he got.
yeah. Before the game, the coach
Yeah.
is like, "Listen, when in doubt, just throw it to."
Yeah.
to
Don't even care if you win the
or to
game.
0.
Just get him.
Exactly.
Just get him
Yeah.
7,
Get
8
him his
receptions,
targets.
not targets,
Yeah.
receptions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know what he did? So
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a boring game though. That was definitely a toilet bowl right there.
I have a question for you guys though. So this game, Giants lose their kicker in like the first kickoff.
in the most
So
Giants fashion,
yeah, oh yeah, Giants style.
they
But like
missed every single 2-point.
literally, and I'm like, at that point, would you rather just give your punter? I get he missed the first one, but would you not rather just have him try again and again,
I don't know
or
if you
have
guys
Daniel
remember.
Jones try and score?
I don't know if you guys remember, like years ago. I think might have been 3 years ago when the Houston Texans had Dare. He was a running back. Dare. I cannot pronounce his last name. It started with an
Oh,
O.
A
Oku,
Goomba
whatever
Wale
the
or
hell.
whatever his
Yeah,
name is.
that guy.
Yeah,
He kicked in high school, and coach literally went to the sideline. Who can kick a football? Who has kicked a football before?
Yeah,
And he must
Yeah.
have raised his hand, went out, scored. I think it was a game-winning field goal for them. So like I would have done that. You know what I mean? Guys are all over that. I remember playing football. Like if a coach wanted me to do something that I've never done before, throw me in there. I don't care. You know what I mean?
So in the defense of Brian Daboll and the Giants, they probably didn't think they were getting into the red zone, so they didn't
True.
think of that. They
Yeah.
didn't think of kicking an extra point.
That's true.
So they were probably like, you know what, we're fine. We're not gonna make it to there anyway.
Yeah.
We don't need our
Like, but
kicker.
like, I feel like because I consider Brian. I used to consider Brian Dable a good coach, but like,
Yo, see,
if you because it's obvious he doesn't trust his offense at all. If you don't trust your offense to score a 2-point, which they didn't,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you prep for that a little bit? And aside from everything, have a backup kicker for crying out loud.
The punter's the backup.
I agree with you. Like at the bare minimum, have him try again. Like,
But, like,
what's the worst that happens? He misses. Well, you didn't get the
It's
2
a-
points
yeah,
anyways.
it's a 20-yard field goal too. It's not like,
I'm saying like it's not that long. It's not that far.
yeah. I mean, let's forget about it. It's a
Game
it
was
is-
yeah.
Feel bad for anyone that drafted any Washington Commanders receivers though, because they are cooked. They are cooked.
Terry McLaurin needs to ask for a trade at this point. Like, why are you
That's what I'm
still with
banking
this?
on. That's what I'm banking on.
Like,
Is it-
leave
I didn't
this
draft
team.
any of them anywhere. I don't have
Yes.
any wide receivers on the Commanders. I don't even have McCaffrey. Nothing.
no Luke.
Luke, you're not a Luke fan?
No, I mean, could be good, but when has a Washington Commanders offensive player other than a Brian Robinson been valuable? Like it hasn't been
Yeah.
in years, dude. Cherry McLaurin has always been a disappointing option. Always.
Yeah, a little bit. And then he'll
That's
go
rough.
off 1 week.
He's always been that guy that's like, oh, if you put him in a good offense, he'll be like Mike Evans, 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. Like he's never done it. He had one season over 1,000 yards. So, anyways, enough of these shitty teams. They're both garbage games. Connor, for whatever reason, you like watching field goals over and over again. I don't know.
I think
Not
7
not
field
me.
goals in a game is pretty interesting.
Just and I don't know. It's what's crazy too is I have Jaden Daniels all over the place, but he's
Really?
not even entertaining to watch. Like
Yeah,
it's
because you know he's
almost
just gonna pull.
annoying.
Yeah, you know he's gonna pull it every like
He
few
looks
plays.
for 1 second. He looks at one read, run. And his one read is the running back almost every time,
Yeah,
I think he's just afraid to get killed. That's why.
I think so
which is
too.
fair. And he did get killed last game.
Got smoked in the chest. That was bad.
Yeah. So welcome to the NFL moment there.
Yeah.
On to the next. On to the next. So got the you guys have the games? I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah, we can
I got
go.
one.
Let's do um
I go Colts Packers.
Let's do it.
let's do the Chargers and the Panthers.
Oh, let's do Chargers and Panthers.
I'm not ready for this one.
Let's just get it out of the way.
Okay.
Okay, well,
Jeff, you started off.
the elephant in the room.
All right. Where do you want me to start? Because there's so much here.
I always start with your thoughts on the
Benching of Bryce Young.
benching of Bryce Young. Yeah.
I'm all about it. Like at this point, like he kind of needed to get benched. I saw like comments today that he was pissed that he was benched, but like the guy has zero confidence. You're about to lose the locker room. Like no one believes in you right now as a quarterback. Like you kind of just need to like retool, figure some stuff out.
Do
Let
you think?
Andy Dalton take a chance for a bit.
Yeah, that's fair. Do you think? And you'd probably know this better than Isaac. Do you think it's a locker room? Like, do you think the locker room, or do you think he's losing the locker room, or do you think it's just a locker room problem? Like, do you think the team is like, yeah, Bryce sucks. That's the problem with our team, or do you think the team thinks more so like this is like I seen the interview with Thielen where he was like, no, this is a team problem, but I don't know. Like, is it a Bryce problem or is it a team problem?
I think it is a team problem, but I honestly think it's just an ownership problem. Like I think it's like it's the snake right at the head. Like you got to like I feel like it goes from the ownership, and then because our owner is so shitty, it just comes
He's the
down
worst.
all the
He's
way
by
down to
far
the
the
team.
worst owner in the league, like by far.
By far, by far. It's not even close. And I can guarantee that Dave Canales probably benched Bryce Young because he's about to lose his job because that's what Tepper does and fires every coach that we have
I don't
in
know
like
though,
two games.
because the after that game, Canales said in an interview like Bryce Young will be our starting quarterback moving forward. He said that in an interview. So like to me
Did
that makes me feel like the owner came in and said, "No, you're benching Bryce Young. I don't care what you say. Bench him. He's done."
maybe. I don't know. I just know how I know how the owner is. Like Tepper is very like short-tempered, so like he not about keeping the same quarterback, keeping the same system going. Right? Like it's a work in progress. We're rebuilding, right? Like I'm not expecting us to win every game. We shouldn't be getting blown out either. So
I think the worst part about the benching though, because I agree with you, Jeff. Like you have to do something. But the worst part about the benching is what's going to happen to Bryce is what happened to Zach Wilson. Like Mike,
yes, yeah,
same thing.
that's
Mike White
that's
comes
kind of
out
what's the fate. I feel like.
he showed up.
Hmm.
Andy Dalton, he's already proven that he can be serviceable in the regular season. One of the worst playoff quarterbacks ever, and that's why no one ever picked him up after his stint with the Bengals, or maybe it was the
Yeah,
Saints or whatever. But yeah, he's Andy Dalton's probably going to come in. He might win that game. Who knows? But even if he doesn't win, there's going to be a couple of offensive touchdowns, and there's going to be a resurgence in that offense just a little bit because
Yeah.
he's a very poised, experienced quarterback. He's been in the league for a long time. So that's my prediction of what's going to happen, and that's honestly going to do nothing but make it worse. Because best case scenario for Bryce, the offense still sucks, right? And then it proves it's not a Bryce problem. It's a team issue. It's an offense issue. It's not Bryce.
I
But
think that's what's gonna happen. I just think the team like sorry Jeff, the team's gonna suck still. I
I
don't
think so
see
too. I don't
I
think they're
don't
gonna
see
improve any better, but
I don't see
even
how
if you score one offensive touchdown or two, sorry, if you score two offensive touchdowns, well, that's an improvement. No matter
yeah,
what
but
you win or lose, like
true.
that's an improvement.
who's to say you wouldn't do that with Bryce in there against a certain team? Like say you play a weaker team. Who's to say that Bryce couldn't do that? You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah.
If Andy Dalton comes out and throws 15 for 21, 2 touchdowns, no picks, that's
Yeah,
by
like
far the
180 yards.
absolute best game for the Panthers offense, right?
Yeah, I agree.
That's
I agree.
Yeah.
If he
and
comes
that's
out and does
that's
that,
could happen.
but what
Even
I'm
though they
saying
don't
is,
get the win, that could happen, right?
if they score
That's
three
true.
touchdowns, if they score 3 touchdowns in the course of the next 7 games, touchdowns, yeah, but that still sucks.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing that they're going to come out and be a laser focused team and turn everything around like 180, right? I'm not saying that at all, but
Hmm.
I wish nothing but the best for Bryce. I feel bad for the guy, man. He looks so defeated, so defeated.
But
Yeah, he
see,
does.
what bothered me the most about this whole situation is that like Bryce Young, he got like a new coach, new OC, new quarterback coach, and like the guy barely played in preseason, and then they expect him to do well like
Should have been
week
playing
one
every
and
game
two.
in
Like
preseason.
exactly. Like I'd rather him have played every game. Like I don't care if he's a starter. Like he needs to get his reps in. Like he has like zero confidence because he doesn't know what he's doing out there. He doesn't know the system. So it's just
Yeah, it's
frustrating to
ridiculous.
watch. But we'll see what happens. They're facing the Raiders, so not looking forward to this week.
Let's move on to the other side of the ball, though, with LA. Just a couple of comments on that. So, one, I think Joe Alt's going to be the next greatest tackle in the league.
Fantastic.
He's
He's
unbelievable,
fantastic.
man.
Yeah,
So
he's
good.
just he's a dominant guy, and I think he's just going to be the next, like the next Joe Thomas, like one of those type of guys. Like for the next 15 plus years, he's going to be protecting whatever quarterback's going to be. Like they're not going to ever trade him, kind of
Just
guy.
hope he stays healthy because
That's the only
the
thing.
guy is
Yeah, he
massive.
is.
He's 6'7",
Yeah.
340. Like he's huge.
Like Herbert
Yeah.
must feel like a king back there, just
Uh,
Oh,
behind him with him on like at left.
I feel
Everyone's
like he has
talking
so
about
much time
Dobbins
now.
and how good Dobbins has been,
Oh, it's
and
the
without Joe Alt, that offense is not the same. That was
But
the best draft pick they could have been.
I also do want to give my hat out to Dobbins though, because coming off of an injury that he had, and then I thought game one was just an anomaly, like a fluke.
Looks
But,
good, man. He
but
looks
he does look good.
sharp.
You know what? He looks explosive. He looks like because I know Harbaugh likes to run the ball. He loves to run the ball. So I mean, I think that they had neighbors at 6, and then they decided to take Alt, and I think it's going to pay off for them. I think
I
that was a good move.
yeah. They had the fifth pick.
or fifth, sorry, my
Yeah,
bad.
but I think it was a couple of episodes ago. I didn't bank on it, but I was like I said, J.K. Dobbins does not have a lot of miles on him. You know what I mean? He doesn't.
Yeah.
Doesn't,
So
yeah.
he like I said I thought it was a potential possibility that he could come out and be that agile back that every single time he was fully healthy, he's always been good. Like
Yeah, he has.
I remember drafting him fantasy 2 years ago, and the 2 games he played, he had over 20 points. You know what I mean? Got injured the rest of the season, but that's not a lot of miles, right? Like
Yeah, it's
he's
not a lot.
played like 5, including these 2 games, 7 total NFL games. He's always been injured.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good is just a health. That's the word
and
now.
let's throw our flowers at Quentin Johnston. That guy's never been throwing flowers in his life. So he had 2 touchdowns. He finally looked like he's like a
First
6'4",
rounder.
a 6'4" wide receiver that is big. He finally played like he's 6'4" and not 5'9".
Yeah. He played like a big dog. Hopefully he catches the flowers that we throw at him. So
Yeah,
yeah, I mean 26-3, it's a good score. Let's move it on.
it is.
This game was crazy. Saints and Cowboys. Like what the hell?
44-19 for the Saints. 44-19.
Cowboys are at home too. That's the most embarrassing home thing.
First,
Easy.
and I think this is a correct stat. The first loss at home in 16 games, regular season games.
Damn.
That's nuts.
They're undefeated usually at home. They are unstoppable at home, and they just got stomped on.
Dennis Allen officially has saved his job with the offensive coordinator change. That's
Yeah.
literally like
Yeah.
because he was on the hot seat, man. Like I still don't even think he's all that good of a coach, but
I don't. Dennis Allen is not doing this for the team. It's Clint Kubiak that's killing it for them. Like,
I agree. And that defense, man, like a lot, like obviously it's hard not to look at the offense. It's hard not to look at Derek Carr doing the Michael Jackson celebration and cringing. Like it's hard not to look at all this, right, and be like, wow, the Saints are great, but man, this defense is legit. They look great. They held one of the better offenses to 19 points. It's pretty impressive.
But on the other side of that too, the offense, like Dallas's defense is supposed to be a good defense
They have
on
a lot of
paper.
they have a lot of
Supposed to
good they have a lot of
A
big
lot of good,
names.
fast guys, playmakers, right? 44 points. They took the top off so many times. And not
But
only
Kamara
that,
had 4 touchdowns in the first half.
not only that, exactly. Alvin Kamara on the ground too, a little bit of passing, but like Rashid Shaheed is just over the top, just beat everybody with speed. He
I
looks
wish I
good.
drafted him more because man,
I have him in a couple, but
he's been
he
doing
looks
better than
like their number
Olave.
one.
Like what the
He
hell?
looks like their number
But
one.
him and Derek Carr are like best friends, so like they have like
Yeah.
that mind meld connection. I don't know what's going on with those two, but
Ever since Olave, or ever since Derek Carr yelled at Olave last year when he didn't finish that route and he threw it
yeah,
deep and they yelled at each other, it's been downhill since then.
it's been that changed everything.
I remember watching that live and Carr just lost his shit on Olave. And Olave was like,
Yep.
I don't care about you, bro.
I I did. I actually watched a lot of this game though, and I will say, Olave sometimes it just feels like what you were saying with Marvin Harrison last week. Like it just looks like he doesn't run his routes 100% every time. Like it looks like he takes some plays off,
Kind
and
of gives
Yeah.
up. It looks like
like, and I don't know if it's just he's like just getting lackadaisy because he's not getting the ball. You know what I mean? Like
It's an OSU thing.
yeah,
The
I
Ohio State thing.
a great game for the Saints.
Yeah.
I actually don't believe like because the Vikings are 2-0 and they're 2-0. I don't think the Vikings keep it up. We had both of them pretty low on our rankings before the season
They
started.
were pretty similar though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, maybe the Vikings were kind of like
I see.
outliers in our predictions, but
I see the Saints. I actually see the Saints withstanding this. Maybe not to this degree because like there's going to be a point where some of it slows down. But I do see them being one of the better teams in the league.
being the NFC South champions, yeah.
Could very well
no,
be.
they're gonna
I,
compete.
I still believe in the Bucks as well.
Still
I
believe
forgot
the
about the
Bucks.
Bucks, which are
Bucks
another
are still there.
awesome team. Why don't we move right on to that game?
Yeah.
Let's
Well,
do it.
that's the late game, so let's go in
Okay,
let's go in
let's say
order.
that one. I forgot about that.
Let's go to the Colts and the Packers. What this was a snooze fest. This was actually worse than the Washington Commanders and Giants game. I will say that. This was a snooze fest, man.
I barely have
There
any
was
comments
touchdowns
on
in this
this.
one.
Malik Willis, look at him go. He didn't have
Yeah,
he barely threw. He had 16 pass attempts through I think he threw 10 for 16 or 13 for 16. He had a clean game.
Green Bay played the game plan perfectly. They just ran the ball
Ran the
so
ball.
much with him.
Josh Jacobs averaged almost 5 yards a carry. Malik
Yeah.
Willis had the furthest throw he threw was like 20 yards. It was perfect.
And then on the other side you have Anthony Richardson throwing this 70-yard bomb.
30-yard bombs getting intercepted though. Like, dude, the
Yeah.
guy is so raw. It's crazy.
It's either he's running it, handing it off, or he's throwing. I don't think he's thrown a pass shorter than 20 yards this year. Like he's just whipping that ball like
It's
6
because
yards.
well, yeah, but it's because his short and medium throws aren't great. He has a wicked arm, but we saw in preseason, man. Like we don't like. There's not, dude. He only has played. I think I saw a stat.
Like 11 games
I
since high
might.
school.
Yeah. How crazy
Yeah.
is that? That's insane. That's nuts.
Like think about that. That's like a full season if you make, championship games is 11 games. Like you play an 8-game regular season,
Yeah.
9-game regular season, 7-game, and then you have a quarter semifinal or a semi and a final. Then you have like a state championship or a provincial championship, something like that. That's 11 games right there, and he's played 11 games in a span of 5 years.
It's kind of funny though.
Okay.
I will say. So, do you guys remember when Daniel Jones was drafted and everyone was talking about how much of a reach it was? He was drafted 4th overall and he was supposed to be like mid 15, 16, 17 and it was everyone was clowning the Giants when they took Daniel Jones. I mean, he looks like a dork and he hasn't panned out, so it's been easy to rip on the Giants, right? Like but the same thing kind of happened when they drafted Richardson. He was supposed to be drafted in that mid first round pick. He was always known as a very raw talent, right? Very talented, but raw, right? And the Colts kind of reached on him. He only played 3 games last season, showed very promising plays here and there, but was still raw. He hasn't been poised for an entire NFL game yet.
What number was he picked at?
4. Same. Yeah,
Yeah.
4th.
He was 4th this year. Interesting.
Because he was in the
Two-
CJ draft,
Last
right?
year, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, it was Bryce Young, CJ, Will Anderson, and then Anthony
And then
Richardson.
Anthony Richardson. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, interesting. That's a good comparison.
It's kind of crazy, but
Not a good one,
I
but it's an
think
interesting
I think
comparison.
the only reason that people haven't clowned the Colts because it really hasn't worked out so far. The only reason people haven't been clowning the Colts is because people still think there's so much promise and excitement from his game because of how exhilarating his plays can be, right? Like we did see like 70
Yeah, he
yard
does.
throw off his back foot, like it's just insane. And then his rushing upside, like potential's there, but what if he has a similar career to Daniel Jones, but he just has legs and a cannon of an arm? Like it could very well happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, he could be in that same situation where, he has that one good year like Jones had, gets that huge contract, and then like it could be. But I mean, again,
Yeah.
who knows? Who knows what happens? Colts are also a better team than the Giants.
The
Right?
organization's
In
a lot
that
better.
situation, better organization, right? So I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Just thought it was an interesting comparison, but obviously time will tell. This is I don't think there's much to say. Packers got the win. Colts, they need and also I will say, just because you weren't game planning to run the ball, why are you not having Jonathan Taylor in the fourth quarter, the entire fourth quarter? He didn't play.
I didn't understand that.
An
Like,
injury?
No, it's
Oh,
simply
no
the
injury.
coach came out after and said
Yeah.
it was because we
Was
weren't
in the
planning on
game plan
running.
or something?
We were
Yeah.
planning on passing it, and it's like
It's like he can catch.
he can catch. Like what? And then it's such an easy game plan for the Packers. Like, oh, Jonathan Taylor's not in. Let's play cover two. Let's rush
Yeah.
4. Let's rush 3. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
let's rush 3 with a QB spy. Like it's so easy.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just bad coaching, right?
Trey Sermon is not Jonathan Taylor. I'll tell you that for free. I don't know why he was playing in the fourth quarter because it's not like he's a crazy receiving back. But
Well,
anyways,
you get the choice between Sermon or Taylor. I promise you, a blind guy's taking Taylor. Like it's
Yeah.
obvious.
You take the chance with Taylor.
I just found it very bizarre.
It is. It was an interesting move for sure. I thought it
Sean
was
Lloyd's
deeper
also on the
into it.
IR. I don't know if you guys saw that, but that helps out Josh Jacobs'
Apologies.
stock.
All right, moving on.
Moving on to the Browns and the Jaguars. Not gonna lie, guys, this is another game. I don't know if it's because
I didn't care for this game.
I don't know if it's because the red zone tries not to show the Browns as much as possible because of the Deshaun Watson fiasco, but man, I barely saw any of this game. Like I barely saw
I
anything.
didn't see anything.
To be fair, there wasn't much to see.
I actually don't really have any comments on it. Like it was pretty bad. Like it just wasn't like the best football to watch. I think that Christian Kirk is non-existent. I think that
What's going on with that? That's
I-
why
The offense looks
I'm not
so
too sure.
scarce, man.
The
It's
offense
crazy.
looks sputter. I think ATN regressed. I don't think they're going to be a very big contender. Although somehow next week they're going to beat the Bills because it happens every year. But
Do own the Bills for
They
some
do.
they
reason.
just
They
own the
do.
Bills. But anyway, we'll get to that. Browns are just I don't know. If they didn't win that game, I'd be very concerned for the Browns.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
I think you have to be concerned as a Jaguars. Does Jaguars have fans? I don't know, but as a Jaguars fan,
They
if
have,
they
like,
exist, yeah, like if they are out there, like I'd be concerned, man. Like that, like how the offense is just non-existent, and Etienne, like is he losing his job?
He's about
Yeah,
to if he keeps fumbling all the
Right?
time.
But also, like you just paid a quarterback $55 million, 60, whatever he got
I
paid.
always have thought that was one of the worst contracts in the league. Like
But now
awful.
you got to think, well, okay, we can't bring anybody in for the next however. Like
You're
they just
paying
tied
Christian
up-
Kirk $72 million over what was it, 3 years? That's
Years.
not
Yeah,
cheap.
So they just tied their cap into to a bunch of players that don't even produce.
I've always said though, and Christian Kirk started his career in Arizona. I never thought he was phenomenal. I never ever thought he was anything special. I think how Michael Wilson is right now. I think Christian Kirk's on the same wavelength. I don't think
Yeah.
Michael Wilson's anything spectacular. I think he's serviceable. He can catch the ball when he gets thrown. He's not excellent in any way.
No, he's
You
a
know what I mean?
receiver. He's just a typical receiver. But then Christian Kirk reset the market when he went to Jacksonville.
Yeah, he
literally
did.
reset like the receiver market, which is crazy. They just paid him crazy money for what, 0.7 fantasy points. I'm a
Like
Thankfully, I don't
negative
have
one
him
yard.
anywhere.
like
And then
Yeah.
Brian Thomas, I think he had a questionable error where like he just didn't look at the ball early enough. Like he had a touchdown.
Yeah.
It was a great ball by Trevor actually, and he just didn't look early enough. So
Rookie mistake.
rookie mistake, hopefully.
yeah.
But
Let's get off this game.
that's
though. I don't-
honestly,
Yeah. I don't wanna talk about
I'm
this.
falling asleep just talking about it.
Actually, yeah, me too.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. Anyways, never mind. I was gonna make a Deshaun Watson joke, but it's not worth it. Let's just move on.
Too soon.
Yeah, Jets and Titans. Will Levis did it again. He did it again, dude. He lateraled it again. Like, bro, he talked about It's so funny because the coach in week 1 said,
He's so over him. You can
like,
tell.
dude, the coach
Yeah, he's got to be done.
in week 1 was like, that was just one of the most stupid football plays I've ever seen. I don't know what he was thinking. Like, that was just dumb. And then Will Levis comes in after, and he's like, yeah, I just got to be better at the football. Like, I'm never going to make that mistake again. Yada, yada, yada. What does he do? Pitches it again. It's a fumble, and it's like, bro. Like,
It was in the red zone. That's what made it so bad. I'm like, are you serious? Just take the sack.
oh,
Or throw
man.
it forward.
That's what you get for putting mayo in your coffee, dude. Like, you're a
Yeah.
weirdo.
It's funny though, because for the comments for this game, I wrote down Will Levis ... That's it.
Yeah,
That's all
literally.
I wrote down for this game.
That's all you gotta put.
Dude, I couldn't wait. That's actually one of the most exciting I was to talk about because I when I watched it, I died of laughter. I'm like, bro, you just got clowned for this last week. Why are you lateraling it again? Don't ever do this if you're not supposed to in a design play ever again.
I think it's gonna affect him mentally. I think he's just never gonna be the same player ever again.
I think Mason
crazy-
Rudolph
it's crazy
plays
to-
somewhere without a Will
Mason
Levis
Rudolph
injury.
You better
I
start
think
warming
so
up
too.
soon.
I think so too, and I actually it's a crazy take, but I think this is the downfall of Will Levis. Like, he wasn't the greatest ever to start, but I think this is it. We're never gonna see Will Levis progress anymore. I think it's just regression from here on out.
I find it kind of funny though, because there's been a lot of talk in the offseason about because teams have somewhat kind of transitioned into the 1-2 kind of split back, but the Titans are a perfect example of there's always going to be an RB1, and Tony Pollard is the RB1 in this offense. Like Tajay Spears, he gets a couple, like he gets like 25% snap share, but like he's not getting runs nearly as much as Tony Pollard. Same with Chase Brown and Zach Moss. It's just I think people just think are just trying to be cute in the offseason when in reality there's always an RB1.
So my take on that too is like the offseason is just like a lot of smoke screen. You don't see a lot. But my real take is you don't see split back. Like you'll see a dominant RB1 usually at the beginning of the season, but split backs usually come in later in the season. Like you'll see later in the season when your RB1s kind of gets a little more tired. You'll see a lot more of like a Jalen Warren, Najee. You'll see a lot more Chase Brown, Moss, and I think you'll see Spears and Pollard a lot more when it comes week 10, 11, 12, just for fresh legs, just for that kind of. But like, why would you want to waste both of your backs and give them a heavy load at the beginning of the season when you could utilize that later on in the season? I think it's just more of a strategic thing.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. That's a good take.
Also, going off your point, like kind of Dallas is kind of doing what you're saying, like the split, like 50-50, and look how that's working out. Like it's not working out for them with Elliott and Dowdle. So like you obviously need one that's kind of the RB1, the lead guy, and the backup is kind of there later in the season, right? So
Yeah, you just kind of need to ride with one guy because again, with that problem, you have a 50-50 split. And then if they both don't work out, what are you going to do? Throw your third guy in? Like if they're both not
exactly.
they're both not producing in the game, right? They're taking snaps. Like you don't have a fresh guy on the side, and then what are you going to do? Go to the pass all game? Like it's just not an effective game plan. I don't think so. But I do notice that throughout the year you'll see the split back being more useful.
Yeah. Yeah, and let's just give the Jets their flowers. Braylon Allen, he looks good, man. If Brees Hall
Yes,
goes down, Braylon Allen's going to be a phenomenal RB1.
Speaking of a split back, yeah, absolutely.
that
Like
is
that's a
just vulturing
I just,
Brees Hall
but
all game. It felt like,
he's
but
huge, eh? Allen's
yeah,
huge.
he is
he
huge.
is.
But
He's
I
a
don't,
big
I don't
man.
like, I don't know if I believe that continuing like because
No.
this game, I think the Jets kind of figured they had it, they had the game, so they just kind of wanted to see what Braylon Allen was all about, and he capitalized on the plays, so that's good. But I don't see the Jets being like powerhouse in terms of like they're going to be up 2 touchdowns on every team, and they can just like let their rookie, get their flowers. I think they're going to be in a lot of like close games where they're going to
These
need
kind of
Brees
games,
Hall.
yeah. I think it's gonna be these kind of games, but like more meaningful. Like they're gonna be behind, or they're gonna be.
Yeah. I think the Jets are maybe taking a different, like the opposite approach of like what you just said, like how teams kind of go with their RB1 at the beginning of the season. Like I think they're trying to preserve Brees Hall a little bit, so you might
I
see
also
that
think they're
dwindle.
trying to find their RB2. I
Braylon
I
also,
Allen,
think so.
it's Braylon
Braylon
Allen.
yeah,
Allen by far.
well, not, like now it is, yeah, for sure.
Isaiah
But like,
Davis, like the other guy, like didn't do anything spectacular, right?
no, that's what I'm saying. Like they just want to make sure that they found their guy
Yeah,
moving forward.
for sure.
And they found their guy because, like they had a lot of rookies coming in. They had a lot of questions at RB2, and RB2 is an important position in football.
Brees Hall catch on the whale route though,
Oh, so
man,
good.
that was just such good football. Like that was
Classic A-Rod.
and then his what he said in the press conference. He's like, yeah, Brees Hall said, if you see my hands go up, throw it to me.
No. He said this. He said I went back to the huddle, and Brees Hall said, "I'm gonna run a go. You're gonna throw me the ball." And I said, "Okay."
Yeah, yeah, that there you go. Yeah,
That's
I think I remembered it incorrectly, but that's you just love to see that shit, man. So
That's Aaron Rodgers football at his finest right there.
Yep.
Okay,
let's move
next.
to the Lions and um the Bucks.
Isn't that the late game?
That was a 4 o'clock game.
That's to do
Oh,
with the Ravens and
yeah, through the
Ravens.
Raiders and the
Okay.
which one? Brock Bowers is gonna be the best tight end ever.
He's phenomenal.
He's cool.
Yeah.
I like Brock Bowers a lot. 26-23 Raiders. That's a big upset. I mean, Baltimore's supposed to win that by like 10.
Brock Bowers
my
looks
opinion.
phenomenal, dude.
He looks good. I don't know if the Raiders D line looks good or if the O line's still the problem for.
I think it's the O line.
I think it's the O. I don't
I think
they're
it's the
gonna do very-
defense, man. I think
But
it's the
like
defense.
last week, right? Last week against KC. I mean, KC does have a strong defense, of course, but like the O line, like they're sputtering.
Yeah.
And then that
These,
sack
the,
that Max
but
Crosby
the but
thing
the
they
Raiders
did.
are a good defense, though. They have a very good D line.
That's true.
They do. They do have a good D line, but I feel like the Ravens, like everyone's just getting through on their own line. Like it seems like
Just,
there's no protection.
I think it's because I think it's because they know if they eliminate Lamar Jackson's scrambling ability, that offense isn't nearly as strong because they don't have like. Say what you want about Derrick Henry, he's not the same running back as he once was. He looks sluggish out there. Justice Hill isn't anything special, especially as a rusher. He's more of a pass catching, serviceable, like Austin Eckler-esque running back. So once you take that aspect out of the Ravens offense, you're not left with much. On the contrary, how on earth are the Raiders scoring 26 points against the Ravens defense? They were supposed to be the best defense in the league on paper this year.
But they did lose some key guys.
Patrick Queen, but they have guys like Kyle Hamilton who's supposed to hit. You mean
I think he was hurt. I think he left hurt though.
yeah?
I'm pretty sure he left at some point during the game, like he was injured, like something happened.
But like Minshew has those weird games.
He does.
He does.
He
He's
does.
a
You know what I
streaker.
mean? Like we seen that like when he was playing for the Colts, where he would just have these games where you would think, how
Who's
the
this
hell is
guy?
this guy? Yeah, you think, how the hell is this guy an NFL quarterback? And then you would see him, and if it was your first game ever watched, you would think he's the best player in the NFL. He just
Yeah.
has these weird games where it's like
You think he's
super
you think he's like a no question QB, like starting quarterback in the league, and then he has games where he just looks like a thumb out there running
yeah,
around.
It's like what is he doing out there? Yeah.
Uh,
Right. I mean, and I think that goes to game planning, whatever it goes to. But I mean, Raiders pulled out a crazy victory, probably one of the. Actually, I was gonna say the biggest upset of the week, but I forgot about.
the Vikings beating the 49ers or the Raiders beating the Ravens more impressive?
Vikings.
Vikings.
I would say as well. I would say without question that's more impressive.
That's why I pulled back on my comment there.
But also, like, I feel like this game kind of uh away from them. Like, as soon as Justin Tucker kind of missed that field goal, I feel like you can
Is
kind of
Justin
see the
is
writing on the wall.
Justin Tucker is washed. He's
No,
freaking
okay,
washed.
stop that. First of all,
Dude, have you
first of
seen
I
the
don't know about
stats?
washed.
Listen, I've seen the stats.
I
I've
saw
seen
the stat. It's pretty
But
crazy.
every great player is gonna regress eventually. He's the greatest kicker of all time. I wouldn't say he's
Prater,
washed.
Matt Prater is like fine wine. Just throwing that out there.
But so there's, I think the field goals from over 50 yards. I think they're like 12 for 14, and the two misses are from.
Oh, it's
Justin.
it's worse. Oh, you're talking about this season?
No, this season. This season, like field goals from 50 yards or more. It's like 12 for 14 for kickers, and the two misses are from Justin Tucker.
And he's less than 50% on field goals over 50 of his last like
Like 1
14
for 7.
attempts. Yeah, it's brutal, man. It's brutal. The
Yeah,
stats are
no,
not looking good.
He's 2 for 7 on his last
Yeah.
7.
Anyways, it's a great win for the Raiders. I feel like we should move on to this. I'm very excited to talk about this game, Cardinals and Rams. My God, man! Like
Yeah, I'll
I-
This was a
myself.
bloodbath.
I had to put the jersey on. Kyler Murray,
Love it.
perfect passer rating, probably the best
That
rating
was
or
his best game.
best game of his career. Like he looked so poised, man. Marvin Harrison came alive. James Conner ran it into their throats. The Rams unfortunately lost Cooper Kupp, and they haven't had Puka this week, so looks like he's on the IR.
I just want to go back and just say it wasn't like Marvin Harrison just showed up. Marvin Harrison, that was his like, I'm here. It's me.
I think it was because it was a home game for the Cardinals. It does make a difference, especially as a rookie.
For sure, but also
Sure.
just realizing that the week prior, he went 1 for 4 yards. And I
Yeah.
think that's a big problem considering that they drafted him, what, 4th overall?
And Trey White is cooked. He's cooked.
Trey White, thank God he's not a Bill anymore.
Dude, he is
I give him
cooked.
I give him his flowers for when he had that great year on the Bills. He's cooked. Like he's cooked.
Man, he
He was getting worked
was getting
Story
worked.
all game.
by a rookie.
Dude, Kyler Murray though, man, he was making plays to everyone on the field. I'm glazing right now, I know, guys, but like he was getting the backup tight end Higgins involved. He had like 5 catches for like 70 yards and a touchdown.
McBride, he did his thing.
Bride did his thing. I don't think he scored a
James
touchdown.
Conner-
James Conner did.
was doing his
He
thing.
James
ate.
Conner.
The only one that didn't do anything, and I don't want to worry yet, but Trey Benson has done nothing. Every
That's
single
fine.
opportunity, he's done nothing.
If Connor's doing his thing,
You don't need
cares?
It's
Benson.
fine
Benson.
for the Cardinals, but like I was excited to see Trey Benson, and he looked great in college. So I hope he turns it up soon.
I think it's going to be one of those things. Like I said, later in the
Mid-season.
season, you'll see. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
Jeff. Exactly.
He's a mid-season guy.
Mid-season type of guy, a real workhorse in the mid-season.
Phenomenal game. I'm spoiling it. I wanted to put the Cardinals in the top 5. I wanted
You
to,
did, I swear to God.
but I couldn't.
I had the holdout too, and I was going to just for you,
Oh.
Isaac.
Like,
I was
but
even
like
gonna
if you
put-
think
I was even
about
gonna
it,
sneak in the Panthers there for you, Jeff. But no, I'm just kidding.
if you
I
think
wish.
about it though, it's not a bad take because the only team that they lost, and it was a marginal loss, it wasn't even by 7 points, was the Bills, and the Bills are top 3 right now in the league on paper.
Yeah, but in my opinion, I had to keep the top 5, the 2-0 teams.
They
Just for
they
personal
they
thing.
they have one of the biggest point differential wins all season. 41-10 against the Rams who
But,
kept
like,
up with the
don't get me
Lions.
wrong.
Sue Isaac.
Cardinals played
It's-
phenomenal, but the Rams
week
also
2.
like have no one on offense right now. So like, Cardinals blew them out from the beginning, but like you can see the Rams kind of wave the
Yeah,
play.
I know. Big picture, it makes sense. It would have been a different game if you had Puka, if you had Cup in there, right? But like all the only weapon they really had is Kyron Williams, and he did
He
nothing.
scored. He went 55
nothing.
yards and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, I mean that's not enough to get you get you up to par with the Cardinals offense. 41 points. I mean,
Yeah,
Their
but I
offense was
mean,
good.
the defense, the Cardinals defense, like we said, the Rams didn't have their studs, but the Cardinals defense held their own. Man, it was nice to
Well,
see finally.
the game was over in the first quarter.
Yeah, it
Easily.
was,
Oh,
it
yeah.
was
Oh,
actually
yeah.
nuts.
There's
Yeah.
2 3 and out. I think there's 2 3 and outs from the offense, from the Rams offense, and then Marvin Harrison went for like 134 catches in the first quarter.
Yeah, he had a Randy Moss first quarter.
Yeah.
Should just let him keep going.
Right, enough glazing. That was a very good game, but Bengals and Chiefs. This game pissed
With
me
a
off.
smile on your face.
Hey man, I was pretty
It's just
defeated
nice to
by
see
week
that.
one.
It's pretty nice. Okay. Anyway, Bengals and Chiefs. A lot of controversy.
A lot of referee involvement here, which
Was it PI?
I would say it was PI.
I would say it is.
I would
yeah,
say
for
it was too, but it's like why? How does
Why the
this
Chiefs?
always happen to the Chiefs, man? They always get calls their way. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Joe
It definitely
Burrow,
was PI. It was just annoying that like it got to that point because they had the game the drive before, and you're just like, really, like just put it away.
that Joe
Like the
Burrow
stupid
fumble,
Jamar Chase.
that Joe
almost
Burrow
killed
fumble
it.
just killed the momentum for the Bengals too.
And he does that quite a bit, Joe Burrow.
But I would agree. And I mean, we're only week 2. He played one of his better week 2s over the years. This game, but it's still, man. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the Bengals, but they're not looking like one of the top teams in the league. That's for sure. They need T. Higgins back, man. That Oivisis or whatever the hell his name is. He looks okay, but he had one of the worst drops I've ever seen. He was so wide open on a slant, and
I agree, but I wouldn't say like the Bengals still just beat or just lost to KC 26-25. I still would put them out of like a top team. Like in my opinion, like Casey's a great team. So being able to go toe to toe with Casey,
they only were toe to toe because of Trey Hendrickson, bro. He had a monster
Had a game.
monster
He had a
game.
game.
If without him, dude, this game
This game actually
Like-
could have been like 30-6.
The
for
Bengals
real,
also
dude.
struggled in the red zone too. Like they had like 4 field goals. Like
Patrick
they couldn't
Mahomes didn't have
get
the
in
best
there.
game either.
No,
Without Evan McPherson and Trey Hendrickson, this game is blowout.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the secondary, like the Bengals secondary, isn't known for being the best, but they did hold. Like they played all right.
They did a good job.
Besides that PI, they played all
That interception, that one-handed
Was
interception.
beautiful.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, that was crazy, man. Xavier Worthy, it's to be expected. He's so small. Like, dude,
Well, like, what's he gonna do? Moss the guy? No.
oh,
He's a-
he if he's not past the guy, if there's not like 2-3 yard difference, I don't know if he's catching that ball 99% of the time.
That touchdown to Rashi Rice was nice.
That was
That was a dog.
Rashee Rice is a solidified wide receiver 1. Like it's unfortunate that we're gonna have to see him not play all season next year. Because man, I love watching the guy.
Yeah, he's about to-
He'll get
he's
this.
about to
He'll
be
get
done.
this year. He'll get his three-peat this year, or
Yeah.
they'll get their three-peat.
How
and then
how
he's
perfect
done.
for the Chiefs for their three-peat that the court case isn't until February.
They had to
The day
part of the
after
script,
Super
right?
Bowl.
Part of the script.
How much money did the NFL pay the judge? I don't know.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. Then it's so funny. Travis Kelce does nothing, and then every time Travis Kelce catches for 12 yards, you just see
God.
like
Yeah,
on
that's the greatest
It's
play
like,
ever.
oh my god, like it's
And then
just
all
so
you hear is the
cringy.
announcer, and that's what you get with Kelsey. You just get a great pass catcher coming out of the backfield. You know, he's just one of the all-time greats. That connection
Oh
with
my
Mahomes
God.
is just unbelievable.
At least Tony Romo is not announcing any more Chiefs games, man. Because dude,
Yeah, I
the
couldn't
glaze
believe
was just
He glazes them
astronomical.
all the time.
Like-
all the time.
Oh my god! Like it's insane.
It was, yeah. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah, another Chiefs win. Chiefs are good. They're starting off better than how they started last year, which is kind of crazy. Steelers and Broncos. Let's spend 30 seconds on this game. One of the most boring games of football I think I've ever seen. Bo Nix looks
But Steelers 2-0.
looks horrible.
my note is
bad.
boring game.
Boring game, yeah, so
That's
boring,
boring
man.
game.
Justin Fields, he continues to do just enough to win games. He doesn't do anything
Yep,
other
that's what you
than
need.
run
All that
around
matters.
and get a reception here and there. Like he throws an okay ball and it gets reception, but I don't know, man. I don't believe in the Steelers long term. They're 2-0, but they don't feel like a 2-0
Definitely
team
not.
at
This
all.
is
Like their
fluke.
offense is
Your defense is what's holding them together.
The thing about the Steelers is they always find ways to win games.
just barely win
Exactly.
games.
Weird reason.
Exactly.
They win those kind like it's 13-6. Like they
This
find
is a
ways to
Steelers
win
game.
grimy games. That's a Pittsburgh Steeler way of doing it. Like it's just they just win grimy games. They just get it done somehow, some way. And I
I
mean,
will
it's not a
say
bad
though,
thing to have.
is the Broncos secondary is good. Like Pat Surtain had George Pickens on locks, and the Steelers O line is just atrocious. Like they are one of the worst in the league, man. So it comes down like, dude, having a solid O line is so important in this league. It's crazy. So
Look at the Chargers right now. They're killing it.
Bo Nix, I am rooting for the guy. He looks horrible, but it also is only week 2, so.
Yeah, it's early.
I hope they don't bench him though. I hope they continue to just let him learn and figure it out because I do think he's a good quarterback. He's just nervous. Like, he just doesn't look poised at all.
Maybe. I saw a stat that like he's pretty much right now on pace to like beat Peyton Manning's like interception record as a rookie. So like
Insane.
I kind of want him to stay out there to see if he actually breaks it.
Oh, that's
But
awful. That
Keep it
interception,
out there long
he
enough.
had like such a nice throw. It went for like 60 yards, and then he was in the red
yeah,
zone ish, and he threw one of the most bonehead
it's so bad,
interceptions I've ever
so
seen.
bad.
And he also had like this one play. I don't know if you guys know the play that I'm talking about, but like T.J. Watt didn't even touch him. T.J. Watt was
Ghost
just
stack?
in the yeah. He was in
Yeah,
the vicinity of him, and he
yeah.
just went to the ground. He didn't even touch him, and it's like, bro, like he is so scared. He just looks so nervous back there. Greg Dulcich, I don't know how that guy has a job, man. He had like 4 drops. Like,
He won't have a job much longer.
no.
Javonte Williams also is non-existent still.
Okay, that's enough
Oh
time
yeah,
spent on the game. Another Steelers win. Broncos look horrible. The only reason the Broncos are going unnoticed is because of how bad the Panthers are. Sorry, Jeff.
Yep.
Um,
thanks.
Bears and Texans win.
Let's go Bucks Lions.
Oh,
Bucs
sorry.
Lions first.
I thought we went over that one, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Bucks Lions. Bucks. Baker's the best, and that's all I need to say.
Dude, I love this, man.
Baker's looking nice.
Did you guys see that one play? I sent it to the group. Baker just juked
Run?
out the
Yeah,
Dude, Baker
that
put
was
Buddy on
huge.
skates,
that was
man.
Yeah,
insane.
Dude, like it
that was
looks
so.
like Baker had like
God.
athleticism.
Yeah, I'm like, who is this guy out there?
This is a good win for the Bucks, man. This is a redeeming
Big
win
win.
because this is the
Revenge.
revenge from the playoffs last year, the wild card game.
And they
Was it the?
earned it. It wasn't like a fluky win. They earned that win. Like
Did
they
I
deserved
guess
to
it
win
wasn't the
that
wild
game.
card game. I guess that was like actually a playoff game,
I
but
think it was like divisional or something.
It was the day
yeah.
game.
But yeah, man, it was good to see the Lions. Jameson Williams continues to emerge.
Second in the
Um,
league in receiving.
yeah, it was just unfortunate that they couldn't get 3 more yards on that 4th down. They probably would
Yeah,
have won the game, right?
probably.
It was just
Did you see that first half mistake that they did from the Lions?
might have to jog
Which
my
one?
memory.
The Lions pretty much they were in the red zone. I think
Should
it was
have
like the last
kicked the
like
field
10
goal.
seconds. Yeah,
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. That was awful. And it just comes like, is Dan Campbell overrated? I have to ask you guys.
I don't think he's overrated.
I think he's a little overrated because people
I think
talk.
he's the perfect Lions head coach.
He's the perfect
Yeah,
Lions head coach, but people talk about him as a top 5 coach. I don't
I
think
mean,
he's a
look
top
what he's
5
done.
coach.
But look what he's done with the program.
yeah. I was gonna say, look at it. Like he's kind of proving that he might be top 5 given what
He's
he's
also
done with
lost
them
them a lot of
years he's been
important
there.
games.
We're we're talking about a Lions team that fans would put bags over their faces to go watch games.
Yeah,
And now they're in a season in which
There's a lot of
the
bags
season
in
prior.
the Carolina Stadium as well.
But all all
To
I'm
be
saying
fair,
is,
if I'm at a Panthers game, I'm putting a bag over my head too because I don't want anyone knowing I'm there. So
Yeah.
Jeff, let's make a bet. If the Carolina Panthers are 0-7 to start the season, you have to do that podcast episode in a paper bag.
I don't know about 0-7. I got
I think they're gonna go in 7. I wouldn't take that bet.
oh, that's what I'm saying.
And
Like
if they
I think
don't,
if they go 10,
if they don't
10 maybe, but 7 I feel like it's very
10,
realistic. That's
When's their
happening.
bye week? When's their bye week?
Let me go check. I thought it was early.
I think it is. I think it's like week 6.
Actually, it's week 11. So
Okay, if they're on if
God,
bye week 11, then
it might go 0-10.
yeah, if you're 0 and
is
10,
10 the
or
number? Is 10 the
yeah,
magic number?
it's 0 and 10. Yeah,
You know what? I'm gonna put 10 because week 10 they face the Giants, and if they cannot
Okay,
beat
that's
the
actually
Giants,
perfect. That's perfect. That is
That
perfect.
That's literally the Super Bowl.
That's
like,
your guys'
and I
Super
think-
Bowl. That's your
I'm
Super
pretty
Bowl
sure
because
that-
you're gonna have to do an
oh.
episode on a paper bag.
I'm pretty sure that game's in like Europe or somewhere. Like I can't remember Germany or somewhere. It's like somewhere.
Yeah,
like, so
Frankfurt.
poor Germans. That's the worst game.
Poor Germans. They're watching the Carolina Panthers against
God,
the New York
Giants.
Giants.
Yeah,
I was
sure.
gonna make a
I'll
joke,
do
but
it
I can't.
Week 10, sure. If they're 0-10 by that point, then sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to because I don't want to show my face anymore.
All right, Chicago and Houston.
Dude, this game drove me crazy. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, this game wasn't that interesting to me.
no,
after
it
that.
wasn't. It was a pretty boring game, but like, dude, Caleb Williams, what pissed me off the most, and it was irritating seeing him miss throw after throw after throw. And I get it, his O-line sucks too, right? But missing throw after throw after throw, and then at the end of the game, you lose the game. Dude, did you see how disinterested Caleb Williams looked when CJ Stroud was giving him that pep
Yeah.
talk? Like
That
CJ
pep talk,
Stroud, yeah, he's in this is a sophomore season, but CJ Stroud also had a phenomenal rookie season last season. People consider it a top 3 rookie season for a quarterback like in recent years,
Ever.
right? Maybe ever. Who knows? He's proven himself. He's a proven quarterback. He's in a lot of people's top 5 quarterbacks in the league. He's giving you like solid advice, and this guy just looks so disinterested, so
Did not care.
disengaged, but didn't even look at him. And it's like, bro, you haven't shown anything. You just got drafted 2 seconds ago, and you haven't shown a lick of promise in the NFL so far, other than preseason.
To be fair, I wouldn't like. Obviously, he's just trying to. It's a big moment, right? Of two quarterbacks from like the same age, big college stars. But to be fair, he's probably pretty disappointed with the loss.
Agreed.
It's hard. It's
Agreed.
hard to like.
But this is Caleb Williams, who is known to have attitude issues, who's very controversial, polarizing player in the NFL.
I guess not
for-
a good look for the guy.
You know what I mean? I don't know. It's not a great look. But also, I will say another time, CJ Stroud also did say in a podcast that the Chicago Bears should just keep Justin Fields and trade away the first overall pick. So
Really?
he did say that in a podcast, yeah. So maybe it
Yeah,
had to do something
know
like
that.
that. But
I
don't know.
doubt it though because that's not personal to Caleb Williams. That's like
That's just him
It's
rooting
not,
for
but-
Justin Fields because
Yeah.
they're
that's just
both
him
Ohio
rooting for
State
Justin
guys.
Fields. Yeah, that's just like
Okay, yeah,
that's
that
just
makes
more
more
like
sense.
that's not like saying like yo screw you Caleb Williams. I think you're trash. They should keep Justin. I think it was just more like hey Justin Fields is that guy. Keep
Yeah.
him.
It is crazy though. The offense actually so far has looked worse with Caleb Williams than it did with Justin Fields, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Time will tell. It's only week 2. Hopefully it gets better for
Yeah.
DJ Moore's sake. He looks like he's ready to shoot up a school, but
On the other side though,
he looks
Get
like
the ball.
he's getting Panthers vibes again, man. He's
Yeah.
he's
Get the
throwing his
ball.
helmet.
What-
He's
Yeah,
oh man.
Nico Collins though definitely like
looks
could-
amazing.
Could be overall.
He's
honestly,
the
man.
wide receiver one in that offense
But he
without
could-
question.
He could be overall overall.
Touchdown he got.
People remember in our fantasy league, people were clowning me for taking Nico in the second round over Chris Olave over.
Yeah.
But
Oh no, it's genius now. I see it.
I knew
I got
he was going to
Nico
have a
in the
great season.
fourth.
That's
I don't know
nuts.
how he felt.
That's
I got
nuts.
Nico in my fourth
I'm in
round.
the 4th.
Yeah, My first was Garrett Wilson, and I got Kyron Williams, Garrett Wilson, Kyron Williams. Third, I forget who I got third. I forget who I got third. But fourth was Nico.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took Nico Collins first because you had the first. I had the second pick. You had the first pick, so you were
I'm not gonna
picking
lie, I was
after
gonna
me.
take him.
Because
I was definitely taking
I knew in my head, I'm like, the only other person that would take Nico Collins this early is you. I don't think anyone else would have taken him that early, so I was like, I got to get this guy now. And everyone clowned me. I knew that you thought that was a good pick at the time, though, because
No, I
he
knew.
looks,
That's
he
what I was
looks
like.
great.
I was like, oh, of course.
Yeah. So
I'm curious. One second. I didn't check my third.
I took Josh
Nico-
Jacobs as my third. Don't really love the pick, but
Whatever.
he
it's
looks
not
good
bad,
so
though.
far. I wanted Pacheco, and Pacheco's out for 6 to 8 weeks. Also, just a quick side point. Is Carson Steele going to be the RB1, or is it going to be Samaje Perine? Well,
Dude.
Oh, I feel like it's
Jared
gonna be a
McKinnon's
committee.
get picked up on waivers next week, guaranteed.
fortunately, yeah, we didn't really touch on it. Pacheco went down with a tib fib injury. I think it was his tibia that he fractured.
Yeah, fractured fib.
Yeah, unfortunate, man. He'll be out 6 to 8 weeks. But Carson Steele looks raw, man. Like, I don't know. It's
Same with Debo though too. We didn't even touch on really any injuries, but there's a few injuries.
Debo, AJ Brown was like a last minute like out, which screwed me because I
It
didn't
was the last minute though. I thought he like kind of announced it on like the Friday or Saturday.
think it was.
They could've used him
I think
on
it was. Yeah, maybe it was, but I just forgot to take him out of my lineup, so it kind of pissed me off.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Anyway, Philly and ATL. We could talk about that a little bit. 22-21 Atlanta.
Is that? Yeah, that's the last game. So I think we're done with the. I will say though, Chicago. Before we move on, Chicago's defense looks legit, and they held a very, very, very solid offense to only 19 points. Like the Texans struggled. I know CJ. I know Nico had a good game. That Joe Mixon didn't really get going. He was out. He ended up being out for a little bit in the game.
He's high ankle sprain, I think, or something now.
He contained this
Drop tackle,
offense.
wasn't it? That illegal drop tackle that they're talking about, where they wrap and then just lose.
It's getting
their legs.
bad right now with
It's
that.
getting bad.
I think the Bears on paper have a top 5 defense in the league, and I remember saying this months ago. You guys clown me, but man, they look good.
I don't think we clowned you. I think I agreed with you. I just think you were way higher on the Bears.
You were about them winning the division. I feel like
You
that's
thought
what we
Caleb
found out.
Williams
It was higher on Caleb Williams and how he's performed, and
It's also week 2. Though,
it is
so you
week
never
2.
know.
But yeah, let's move on to the Falcons and Eagles. What an absolute disaster on Nick Sirianni's part. Like this is just bad coaching, man. And obviously the Saquon drop, but
Saquon drop, and also Gardner got cooked at the end by London.
God, what was he even doing?
Was it CJ? No, who was it? Was it Darius Slay?
Slay, and I think he was.
Yeah, someone got cooked.
He was looking at Cousins when I'm like Drake London literally was wide open in the corner.
Yeah, it was.
yeah. Did you? I thought it was a little goofy when he got that celebration flag though. Like he was like shooting guns. It's like, bro, you haven't done anything in like 14 weeks of football. Like, like
it's too soon. Too soon.
Yeah. Settle down, pal. Like,
that's it.
That's the celebration you pick, bro. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was cringy, and he owned up to it. He's like, that was dumb in that press conference. But Kirk looked slightly more mobile, but even when he was running out of the pocket, he still looked like slow as molasses. Like,
well, I mean, it's Kirk Cousins. It's not.
But I also think like Philly also their like defensive line sucked and didn't even pressure Cousins. So like Cousins looked great out there.
You're right. Yeah. Kyle Pitts.
Jalen Carter's he got benched that game.
Did you guys see that Kyle Pitts catch?
Yeah.
Which one?
There's
only one?
I thought he had a couple.
Yeah, I had a couple really nice catches. It's hard to. I'll have to send you guys a clip, but Kyle Pitts looks good. He actually right now looks like Kirk Cousins' favorite target.
Kirk Cousins loves the tight end, so I'm not surprised.
Sure does.
I think this offense will figure it out. This is a big win for them.
So. The Falcons or the Eagles?
The Falcons.
Yeah, they're starting to game plan. At least kind of get their main guys out there getting the ball more.
All right. Well, I mean, hey,
Yeah, I'm
that's
excited to hear our tally for this week, our predictions. Our predictions were made like months ago,
Right.
so let's see.
we had to go like no, this was a bad week. We had to go like how many games? There's 16 games, so we'd have to
16.
go out. This is my projection. I
All
didn't
right.
even do the tallies. I think we probably went 8-8,
All right. What do you
maybe
think,
like
Isaac?
7-9.
I think we did 10-6.
Okay, so we got 11-5.
Oh,
I
let's
know.
go!
We're
And
doing well at this.
that's with those two upsets.
Exactly. So the ones we got wrong, we got the Dolphins wrong.
Vikings, absolutely, we got that one wrong.
Yeah, Vikings wrong, of course.
Baltimore.
Ravens, Cowboys, and
Yeah.
the Lions.
Okay, those are all upsets.
Those are all
Except for the
upsets.
Dolphins. Except for the
Like,
Dolphins.
yeah, like Falcons, we got that
Actually,
one. Steelers, we got
Dolphins
that
were
one.
upsets. Dolphins were favored going into the game. So
Yeah, really?
yeah,
How?
Dolphins were favored going into
Yeah,
Miami.
so
Bills have actually been underrated. And I was
yeah,
underrating them too. Like, I'm not even
I
gonna
gotta
lie.
give Bills props.
I'll give you guys your flowers. You guys look good.
Yeah,
Your run game is what's impressing me the most. And I don't know if it's
exactly.
I don't know if it's just because let's be real, the Dolphins run defense is
And defense is
atrocious. They're
horrible.
missing Jalen Phillips. He's like their only guy on the D line that's like serviceable these
I
days.
think their best run defender is Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, I
I
would
think so.
agree.
I honestly
You
think
can't
so.
do jet sweeps to
Yeah,
his side. You
yeah,
can't.
yeah.
Or
Um,
power run to his side because he'll tackle you.
yeah.
But Jalen Ramsey hasn't missed a beat, man. He's still good. Keon Coleman, we didn't say, but 0 receptions. That's a little,
Yeah,
a
I'm,
little
I'm
iffy.
gonna say that's blowout though. That's kind of blowout dependent, I feel like.
we
Yeah,
didn't need to throw him the ball. James Cook just did his thing.
Yeah,
James Cook is
But
James
we
Cook is that
couldn't throw him the
offense.
ball.
Delta
We
Kid
couldn't throw him
King
the
did
ball.
get a few receptions this game, which is
Yeah,
nice to
yeah.
see.
Yeah, it was nice.
He
did
It was
sing.
nice to get the ball. But yeah, I mean, let's hear
yeah.
the Power Five. Let's go for it.
Right. So you want to do each number at like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 kind of thing?
Yeah, so
I'll
I could just give.
I'll start with mine.
Isaac could start with his. Jeff, you go. Then I'll take mine.
So this segment we are just doing our top 5 power rankings as of right now. Kind of a mix of like how teams have performed in the first 2 weeks, but also kind of our predictions moving forward. So not technically power rankings because power rankings are like supposed to be like how the teams have performed like as of right now. We go off of whatever the season is, but it's kind of our own spin on it, our prediction slash our expectation moving forwards.
Week 2.
So this is post week 2. Um, number 1, I have the Chiefs. Or fuck, I guess I should start from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, start. Wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
ruined it.
okay, but
Ruined it.
if the Chiefs isn't your number 1, that's a little iffy.
You're a moron. Yeah.
Okay, so 5, I have the 49ers.
Okay.
5, I
Um,
have the 49ers as well.
and 4, I have the Bills.
Okay.
3, I have the Bucks.
Okay.
2, I have the Saints. 1, I have the Chiefs.
Right.
Cool. Jeff,
Because
what's yours?
those
Okay,
two teams,
so-
I just want to elaborate. The Bucks and the Saints, I actually believe in moving forward. The rest of the teams, I actually like the rest of the teams that are 2-0 right now, like the Chargers, the Steelers, the
Hell no.
Vikings. I
Hell
don't
no.
believe in those teams, but I believe in the Bucks and the Saints. I do believe in those teams. I hate that I believe in the Saints. I actually hate that I believe in the Saints because that Derek
That
Carr
pisses
celebration
me
made
off.
me want to throw up. But
That pisses me off.
anyways, I'll let you guys go. I
5,
card-
I have. Sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to say at 6 I had the Cardinals.
Yeah, no one cares about 6. So Jeff, it's your turn. Go.
Oh my gosh. Okay. At 5, I have the 49ers.
Okay.
4, I have the Bucks. 3, I have the Bills. 2, I have the Texans. And at 1, I have the Chiefs.
Okay. You have a reasoning?
Or
You have the Texans
one?
high.
I think the Texans have been nice. Like
So I had the Texans in my top 5 too. I think
yeah,
they're
like
pretty
the Texans have like their offense has been nice, and then their defense kind of won in that game against the Bears. Like they did nothing in the second half offensive wise against the Bears. So like that's why I'm like they got to be in the top 5. They're actually pretty well round.
I think so too. I'll throw mine in there, and a little disclaimer. Mine are just basically a little different than Isaac's and maybe Jeff's point of view. Mine are just like if you were to watch NFL just starting this season, what you would think the top five teams are after week two. Like that's just my like point of view. And so that's why I put the Texans at five, I put the Bills at four, Bucks at three, Saints at two, Chiefs one.
Okay.
So we're kind of all in the same ballpark there with the Chiefs. We all I think agree with the Bucks, the Chiefs.
I think
I don't
the
think Jeff you had the Saints. I don't think you had the Saints in there. Or
You're not the Saints, but that's just
yeah,
me also not believing them yet.
yeah,
and their division rival.
and
You don't
yeah,
want
That's
to root
you.
for the
That's
rivals.
you.
division foe,
But
right?
That's you.
I do agree though. I think the only reason I have the 49ers, I'm just joking about the Cardinals being six. I have the Texans above the Cardinals. I'm just joking, just to preface. Um, you like realistically, you could interchange the 49ers and the Texans at five for me, but the only reason I have the 49ers in at five is because they're missing their focal point of their offense. They have a lot of
Yeah.
offensive weapons, but
Yeah.
CMC is a difference maker, and Brandon Ayuk, I think he will turn it around. He's looked atrocious the first 2 weeks,
hope
but
so
he
too.
didn't get any time in
There's no
training camp,
preseason, no
no
training.
preseason, no training.
And I
So
agree.
he will ramp it up.
CMC is like that beating heart of that offense.
That's yeah.
So that's
Like, as
why
much as
I
Jordan
kept
Mason
him
is
in
really
there.
nice.
Yeah,
Like
he's not a
Jordan Mason's
CMC.
obviously helping. He's
He
not
also
CMC.
doesn't really catch the ball out of the backfield.
Oh, he doesn't even. I feel like he
They've
has
changed
like
their
one or two
offense
receptions.
completely. It's a lot easier to game plan around that offense without CMC because if you play the pass differently, you don't really have to worry about Jaden or Jordan Mason the way you do CMC. You always have to be
But the
aware.
playbook's way different too because the playbook doesn't open to Mason as it does to McCaffrey.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I am interested to see how much Jordan Mason gets involved when CMC comes back. Obviously, it's going to be slow for CMC to come back, but like in the week 9, week 10, when they're both kind of healthy, and like is Jordan Mason going to see like 30% of the backfield? You know what I mean?
So it's good. In my prediction, it's going to go like this, right? And the fact that you have a running back who can produce, like Mason can produce, means that CMC can come back earlier because you don't have to put as much workload on him. So
mean later?
when he comes back or later? Yeah, no, he can come earlier.
It's such
like-
slow the ramp up.
Yeah, but
I
he
see
can-
what
he
you're
can
saying.
Ramp up, you know what I mean? He
Yeah.
doesn't have to come back.
I don't
He
think
doesn't
they're
have
going to
come
rush
back
him
right away.
back though. Like
No,
realistically,
I don't think
Shouldn't.
they're gonna rush him
They
back. But
shouldn't.
what I mean is, when he comes back for his game one, he's not gonna take 90% of the snaps. He's gonna take 50% of the snaps, and they're comfortable with Mason taking the other 50. Then ramp it up towards the playoffs, make sure he's good. The next thing you know, boom, he's back at full throttle. So having a back like that is really, really helpful.
I agree.
Okay, let's do our other segment. So, that last segment is going to be a weekly thing. Shout out Jeff for that. And then this segment, we're going to do picks for this following week, week 3 coming up. So we're picking a lock and we're picking a sleeper. Kind of self-explanatory, but a lock is a game that you could put your mortgage on and you won't lose. This is not financial advice, by the way, so don't follow that.
We're not responsible.
A sleeper is a team that shouldn't necessarily win, but don't be surprised if they do. So we're gonna each say our lock of the week, and we're gonna say our sleeper of the week for the games coming up. I don't think we're gonna go through every single game, but we'll talk about the games that we pick. And I guess I'll start here since I'm explaining it. My lock of the week this week is the Buccaneers against the Broncos, 1 p.m. I don't know if you guys had the same idea, but
I have the same exact lock.
yeah.
I actually have a different one. That's the 49ers and the Rams.
And you're taking the 49ers, I'm guessing?
Yeah, 49ers to beat the Rams
That's
because
fair.
the Rams offense is completely depleted. There's no I'm realistic, man. If the Cardinals just beat them 41-10, they're playing the 49ers. There's not a chance in hell they're winning
That's
that
true.
game.
Yeah, I agree. And then the Bucks is just kind of self-explanatory. I mean,
But you could go either way.
It's not even because the Bucks are the best team. It's because the Broncos might be one of the worst teams.
I think I would, if I had to bet my house, like if you had to bet your house, are you betting your house on the 49ers beating the Rams? The Rams are absolutely depleted offense, or are you taking that Broncos and Bucks game? Because like the only reason is that is the Broncos secondary is pretty good, the Bucks run defense or run offense hasn't been very good this year. Rashad White's looked pretty inefficient, and Todd Bowles is the most conservative conservative coach in the NFL. Like he just stays in this little box of coaching and he doesn't move.
Yeah.
He's the most one-dimensional coach in the league.
I
So
got one question for
if
you.
I had to bet my house, I'm betting on the 49ers beating the Rams. That's all I'm saying.
I got one question for you though. What makes you think that the Denver Broncos are going to score points on a football field?
Exactly.
Hey man, maybe they'll pull a
I
Washington
would-
Commanders, 21 points.
I
Field
think
goals.
Stafford would be able to.
No, I think either team is. I think either those are two like solid locks.
I think those are the lock of the weeks. And Isaac will go for you, then Jeff, then I'll finish off, and we'll do our sleepers. So go ahead, do your.
So my upset is the Cardinals beating the Lions. I don't know if that's much of an upset. I think on paper,
I think it's a close game, to be
I think it's a
honest.
close game.
But
I don't know if it's
technically
much of an
an
upset because
We'll call it a sleeper. We'll call
right,
it a sleeper, not an upset.
yeah, but as of right now, uh, the Vegas odds have Detroit minus 170, I think, to win. So
I don't even
the
know if
spread,
is probably 3.5.
yeah, so the spread's in favor of the Lions regardless. So I don't know. Yeah, it's more of a sleeper, but that's okay. I'm going with my
That's the
guys.
point of this segment is the sleeper.
Sleeper.
Okay,
All right,
I
well-
like that.
My sleeper is Green Bay beating the Titans, which you
Which
can
is
kind of see the
fair.
movement already. Like it's kind of moving towards Green Bay's favor. Like they started off at like +3, so now it's kind of like it's almost a pick 'em game at this point.
Is
But I
Green
think
Bay not favored in that game?
it makes
No, they're
no
not
sense
because
to
of
me.
Malik Willis.
I need
And
Wow,
the
okay.
Titans defense and that is like if you think
But
about
this
it,
is
Malik Willis played in Tennessee, so realistically he should
That's
know
what I'm
that
saying.
defense.
This is what this
Well,
is
he played
what my
scout
game
against
plan
them
on it.
his whole life.
He's scouted against them. This is like a revenge game. Like he got shipped out
Yeah.
for the guy that he's playing against. Like this is like a personal like nah, he wants this game bad. That's why I'm thinking the Packers take this one.
Awesome.
Especially like I think the defense is it's gonna be a defensive game. And if I had to go with what quarterback's gonna make a mistake, like it's gonna be Will Levis. Like he's gonna do another bonehead move and lose it for
Damn
them.
right he will.
Do you guys want to throw in a little bet here?
What?
A little bet. So at the end of the season, whoever has the most locks, we'll just do like a $20 bet. Whoever has the most correct locks and upsets at the end of it wins the $60 or the $40 for a little $20 bet.
Why don't we do $1 a week just for shits?
$1 a
Sure,
week.
Like,
Oh,
But
yeah.
we'll
like-
do it at the end of the year.
yeah. Well, yeah, but you know what I mean? Just like $1 a week, just kind of like just for fun.
We
But
should
we'll
base it
definitely
off
keep-
of
We'll definitely keep tally. We'll definitely keep tally.
we should
Yeah.
to keep it fair though, because if you don't keep it 100% fair, let's base it off of the Vegas odds. So if Vegas is favoring one team over
The day
3,
of. The day of.
yeah, the day of over 3, then that would be like considered
Yeah,
a
we'll
sleeper
do the
pick.
spread. We'll do this.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
that's fine.
Are we doing like well, not the spread, but we'll do like make sure it's a sleeper. Anyway, I got to get to my sleeper.
Yeah.
And it's more of a little stretch, but I'm taking the Patriots over the Jets on Thursday Night Football.
I was thinking that. I was
Yeah.
actually thinking about that.
Yeah. So I was thinking a little bit about the Giants and the Browns, and maybe the Giants.
There's
just
no
the
way.
week they
There's
had, but
absolutely
There's no way.
I was
No
just
way.
trying, but I'm thinking the way that New England's been playing, the way that they've been coaching,
It looks like they have a
and
good
then-
culture there, man.
but also the Jets just haven't found their footing yet. Garrett Wilson hasn't. This game is either going to be, in my opinion, and this is how I think it's going to go. Either New England's going to win, or Garrett Wilson's going to go for like 190 and like maybe 2 tutties, and they're going to find their footing, and that offense is going to mold together back at home. But I could see New England here. I'll take New England. I don't even know what the odds are there, but I'll take New England for that. That'll be my kind of sleeper of the week there.
Yeah,
like it
I was
from
thinking
Thursday.
about it. I was thinking about that, and that's that. I think it's a decent and divisional games are always a toss up too.
You
So I
never
think
know,
that's a
that's
lot.
why.
I think that's a
See, that's
decent
what-
decent sleeper.
That's what worries me about the 49ers and Rams. That's why I'm like, it's not a lock. for
But
me,
there's
'cause
no
the
way.
Rams.
There's no
I
fucking
know
way.
that this is how it happens.
That's like the Panthers beating the Saints right now. There's no chance.
Hey, we play them again this season. You never know.
Yeah, Jeff, I commend you for continuing being a Panthers fan, man. It's going to be a rough couple years, brother. Oh,
Yeah. You know what? It'll be our year in like 2029.
do you have a secondary team where you like root for them while this is all going on? Because obviously you're not
Yeah,
like
yeah, like
I
a
need
serious.
like
side
a
row,
I need
like a
like a
side
just a
row.
I need a hat that just has NFL logo and that's my secondary team. I don't
Yeah,
care
You need a
anyone
you
else.
need a referee hat.
yeah. You know,
Yeah.
one of those questions. You go to those questions. What's your favorite team? Oh, I like players.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
more of a
exactly. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like
I'm more
players.
of a
Yeah.
player guy.
I'm more of a player guy.
Yeah, I'm a big Aaron Rodgers guy,
Yeah,
so I
Yeah.
like
yeah.
the
Yeah.
Jets.
Who do you like? Chris Godwin. What?
I mean, dude, we didn't talk about it, man. Chris Godwin looks phenomenal.
Yeah,
Like,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
and it's actually crazy because all they did was change. It was an offensive. They changed. They think they changed their offensive coordinator, but he was playing a lot in the slot last year, and they've just moved him in the wide out position, like to play on the opposite side
Evans.
of
Why did it
Evans.
take this long?
But his best season that he had like 3 years ago, he was playing at the wideout position. So like, why would you move him into the slot and continue to use him in the slot when he's not producing the same? You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a wideout. He's definitely a wideout for sure.
Yeah.
So, anyways, guys, that was a good episode. We'll see what's in store this week for NFL games. I'm excited. So I'll see you guys next week.
Absolutely.
Next time.
Alrighty, guys. Cheers.
Have a good week, boys.